going on? Welcome to the video. Welcome to the winning team. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Y'all see the thumbnail. Today is going to be a little bit more, I want to say emotional. It's going to be, I'm just going to share my story in hopes that you can be able to take something from this message and apply it to whatever you got going on in your life, okay? So, around the time I found fitness, right, I'm gonna give y'all a story. I think that depression is a thing that maybe runs in. I feel like maybe somebody could always have depression every once in a while, but I think it's something that's been in my family. At least with my mom. I tell y'all guys all the time, I was raised by a single mom, only child, and I would have, I guess like mentors, father figure in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. But it's not the same as being in your home. I think, my grandma, I grew up with my mom and my grandma, and it got to a point to where my grandma was so sick, she started smoking when she was like 13 years old. So eventually that stuff catches up with y'all, and catches up with you, and it caught up with her. And, she transitioned that summer right before I got into high school. So from 8th grade to 9th grade, I remember that summer she was, she transitioned. That whole time, my mom, this house that we in right now, this is actually my childhood home. And this is the home that I stayed at up until, that summer. That summer, my mom, she went ahead and invested in getting a new home. So all of us could be able to stay together because, my grandma had an apartment, and, she was too ill over there by herself. So the intentions were to move her in the house with her and I, my mom and I, and, we could be able to look after her and take care of her. And it was a lot bigger house, and, my grandma transitioned. And this was the start of like seeing how depression could kind of kick in, so I see my mom deal with that. I dealt with that too. My grandma was like a mom to me. Well, she was, she was my grandma. And, I was always over there to take care of her. And, my mom dealt with that. Then, like back to back, she started dealing with deaths in the family. So, my grandma, my granddad, one of her, lifelong friends, like, it was, and even my uncle, her brother, it was just a lot going on. So I seen how that affected her in the house, and it was nothing but like a depressive aura, like when you walked in the house, you know what I'm saying? And I would kind of feel that too. I would kind of feel that, and I wouldn't be in the extent of what she was going through, but just being like, you could feel it. You could just feel the energy, the vibe. And I had that going on, and so that's what I seen from my mom, right? So when I got older, not that much older, but like maybe a couple years later, I was going to school at Georgia State, and somehow an opportunity stumbled upon me to be an apprentice at a tattoo shop, right? So I did that for about a year and some change, like a year and a half, and my whole experience there was like horrible. I mean, I could be able to take some things, but I feel like if you're in an environment where people seem like nothing that they do, or a lot of the things that they do is just like, kind of tear you down, that's kind of like the environment that I was in. So I had to deal with that, and that kind of made me depressed. Me being a young man that wasn't making money like that. I did have a job at American Eagle, and I even cut my hours so short at American Eagle just so I could be able to, work at this tattoo shop like 16 hours a day. And I would be getting like $50 each check, and I got paid bi-weekly from American Eagle. So I wasn't making no money. Me being an apprentice, I got tips here and there, but I was working for free. So, that experience, I felt like I was being manipulated. Like, it's kind of like a thing to where, you get into a relationship or with somebody, and they say they like all these things about you, but then you get like, and that's what drawn them to want you to be put in this relationship. But it's like once you get in, then they tell you all these things that they don't like, which you thought was the things that they like. So it was a situation like that. Nowhere is it no weird shit like a relationship. I'm just saying, like, if you want to compare the both, you know, as far as work and, you know, a relationship. So that was a bad apprenticeship, and the way it just ended, it wasn't good at all, and it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for my mental health, and you know, things like that. And for a while after that, I was very depressed. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go nowhere. I sat in my room the whole time and, you know, watched TV, watched movies, ordered like, you know, pizza here and there, and just stuffed my face. And, you know, I was really going through a lot of things, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I felt like I wanted to see a therapist. I felt like at times I had, like, to be honest, like suicidal thoughts. Like, I felt like if I just, you know, if I wasn't here anymore on this earth, I felt like it would have been better, you know, better for me not to deal with this. I beat myself up for not being the best I could be, as far as, you know, to people who were around me. So like, maybe I wasn't the best son at the time, or better brother, better friend, or even better apprentice. You know, I would put on things that I felt like I shouldn't have put on. And, you know, I had these thoughts, and, you know, at that time I was a person who overthought, and I had anxiety and depression, and it wasn't good. It wasn't a good look for me. And right after that situation, my homegirl, say her name's Kelsey, my homegirl Kelsey, she started inviting me, just out of nowhere, her dad's a pastor, so they had like youth nights on Wednesday nights. I remember this, at like 9:00 p.m. And I would go and drive, and it was only like 15 minutes away from my mom's house where I stayed at the time. So yeah, I would go and I would get a message. I would be surrounded around all my peers. And it was one night, you know, I got saved. And it was pretty cool, because it was like, you know, I felt like it was something like a new beginning. Although it wasn't like I felt like I was born again, I did feel like it was just a new start, a clean slate, a new beginning. And after that, that's when I really started to get into like self-help, self-development. I started to start listening to a lot of like videos on YouTube, like self-help, like Jim Rohn, Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins. Y'all know him as Tony Robbins too. You know, Eric the hip hop preacher, E.T., Eric Thomas. And I started listening to all that type of stuff, and it started shifting my mindset. And, you know, I started to take inventory of the things that, you know, I have control over, and what I don't like, and what I would like to change, and a lot of internal stuff that I had to work on, and, you know, physical stuff that I had to work on too. Because like I said, I was depressed. You know, I was stuffing my face. I was, you know, gaining weight, and a part of the things that I wanted to change was my physique. And again, with this channel, I talk about everything that's fitness related. And you may be listening to the story and thinking like, well, you're talking about a story about depression, about mental health, and about like all these other things besides fitness. But here's the thing: when I got into fitness and started working out, being consistent, it helped me. It helped me. It was like a vice, like something I enjoyed to do. I felt like when I went to the gym, I was becoming a better man. It wasn't just about looks. Like at first, it was a point. If you know my story, it was a point about looks. Even after my breakup, you know, with my ex-girlfriend, like it was about looks. You know, I wanted to look my best. I wanted to be my best. But after a certain point, it started becoming about myself and about my mental health. And, you know, it's not saying the same as if you go to the gym is like going to see a therapist and unpacking a bunch of stuff that you probably should unpack. It's not me saying that at all, because, you know, I go to therapy, my girl goes to therapy. You know, I'm trying to work on things that all this baggage that I have. I'm trying to work and improve on that. But I'll say with fitness, what I've learned with fitness and how it helped me with my mental health is like, say I'm working out, or say if I'm doing cardio, I'm on the treadmill, I'm on the Stairmaster, elliptical, I'm sitting, like, well, not really sitting, but I'm really just like in the workout, and I'm thinking, I'm plotting, I'm like, you know, I'm thinking about things of how I can be better. What can I do to set myself up? How can I prepare for this? Or what is it that I'm really feeling right now? How can I be able to deal with that? And it just really makes me think, and it brings clarity sometimes. Like sometimes I be so on the go, on the move. You know, I make YouTube videos. I train people. I have a 9-to-5 job. You know, I got some things that I'm working on for my brand. Like, I have a lot of things going on. So a lot of times I don't really like sit back and meditate as much as I would like to. And with me working out and doing cardio, I'm able to just like really sit there and then, you know, just reflect, just think, you know, and thoughts become actions. You know, if I'm sitting there thinking positive things, is positive things that I think, I'm able to do, like, have actions to come behind that. And, you know, like I say, you know, so, you know, I got a girl, so even with times where, this is another thing too, like, if me and her are going through something, and I get so frustrated, to where I feel like, now don't get me wrong, I'm human, so it might be times where I might, you know, lash out on her where it might not be, she might not be deserving of it, but it's times to where I may catch myself, you know what, instead of me going through this, putting her through this, lashing out on her because of what I got going on, or maybe she might very well be really get on my nerves, y'all know how it is, but instead of me lashing out on her, let me go and, you know, have an outlet. I go to the gym, I go work out, I go train, do cardio. I don't even put a time limit on it. Sometimes, you know, if I'm just going to train just because I know I need to go, I may go for like, okay, let me give myself an hour. But at times where I'm like really stressed or really have anxiety or maybe a little bit of depression, let me go to the gym. And I'm not even putting a time limit on it. When I'm working out, maybe I don't even think about reps. I'm just going until I feel like, you know, I gotta stop. You know, I'm on the treadmill, I'm on the elliptical, I'm going, and I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm here in this moment, right here, right now. There's nothing else on my mind, but just positive thoughts, positive things, and me becoming a better version of myself. And, you know, I share this with y'all because I feel like, you know, everybody goes through something. My story isn't more important than yours or more worse than yours. You might have a story. Other people have stories. Like, everybody's different. You know, everybody is going through something. So whatever it is, not saying it has to be fitness. Of course, this is a fitness channel and I talk about fitness. But whatever your vice is, if you like to knit, if you like to make tea, if you like to make shirts, if you like to read, like whatever your outlet is, like use that as an outlet so you can be able to, you know, work on being a better version of yourself. My advice is working out, going to the gym. I would hope that you could implement working out and training into your routine in your everyday life because it does have benefits. There's actually a thing called, I had a therapy session with, you know, the therapist and my girl, and we were talking about the benefits of exercising. And when you exercise, it's like a happy hormone that releases. Like, it's either serotonin or endorphins. It could be both. It could be one or the other. Look it up, do your own research. But it releases when you do some form of physical activity. So I would say if you find yourself in the rut or whatever the case is, I'm not saying go crazy, but just go for a little walk. Do some form of physical activity. Do some push-ups. Do something. And I promise you, you'll be able to see the difference. Like, not only with your physique, but just mentally. Maybe even spiritually. All right. So if you like anything that I said, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. If you feel like you have somebody else that's going through the same issue, go ahead and share this video with them. It doesn't cost anything, and hopefully it could be able to help somebody along with their journey. All right. So appreciate y'all watching the video. Peace. Holla back.